Hey everybody,
Hi everyone,
Mr. and Mrs. Traveler here.
ElleKosGlam on a Tuesday.
Well, welcome ladies and gentlemen. We got some new cruise updates, talking a little CDC information and some updates with some river cruise lines.
Some things you need to know. Make sure you stay tuned.
We'll be right back after this. All right, everybody. Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. And before we start digging into some of this bad news, let's look at Miami.
First, some good news. Here's Miami Port, and hopefully you enjoying this footage. If you can, give us a thumbs up and let us know that you love this.
Look at the Port of Miami. One day you'll be crossing that bridge, heading to that beautiful ship right there that looks like maybe the Adventure of the Seas or one of those. Sitting there, I don't know. It's a ship. Any ship will do right about now.
Yes. I just love looking at the footage of cruises. It's been almost a year since we cruised. And like we said before, sometimes we'll come with really fun information and sometimes we come with information that you may not want to hear. Today is one of those days.
All right, so we got a couple pieces of information we want to share with you guys today. So first of all, let's start with some of the CDC information, which, you know, some of this is new news, but this is more. Let me calm down, Mr. Traveler. This is more Big Brother getting involved in our everyday lives because we're already doing the right thing, wearing masks, and companies are doing the right thing with requiring the mask for the companies and everything. But CDC feels the need to mandate that we wear masks in public via some legislation that came out, and basically this will affect cruise lines as well as public transportation, your buses, trains, taxis, airplanes, ride sharing, subways, all that kind of good stuff.
Ubers, shareable rides, everything that has wheels or can fly.
And ultimately, it does affect cruise ships as well.
It does. CDC has mandated a new order, and they actually took it out of the cruise line's hands and took over.
Yeah, so this went into effect already February 1st, yesterday. And as Ms. Traveler said, it's totally taken the control portion away from the cruise lines and forcing them to do control measures, which is kind of silly because that's what people were doing anyway. I mean, that's what the cruise lines were intending on doing anyway. But now it is basically
mandated,
forcing them
yes,
to police these. And this goes for all the forms of public transportation. But we are the travelers, so we're talking about the cruise lines.
yes.
And so, you know, they are putting these strict mandates and saying, well, yeah, cruise line, you said you're going to do this, but if you don't do this, you could face some severe fines.
Oh, this is going to get ugly, especially for people who take the drink packages on cruises. You have got to wear a mask. If you don't, you will be in so much trouble on a cruise. And like I said, when we first hear about it, we're the first ones to tell you about it. This order has just been rolled out this week.
So this will be for guests 2 years and older, or those with some very narrow and specific medical documentation that you can't wear a mask, and they will outline that in detail for you, I am quite sure. So I don't think that this is this is not necessarily a big surprise, but I think it's an extra little jab in the side when they say, you know what, this is what you must do, or you will, I feel more and more like we're living in the Hunger Games or something. I mean, it feels like a movie.
I'm not worried about the vaccines. I'm not worried about the diseases and the viruses that's floating around. I'm worried about human repercussions and how us as humans will retaliate against this if they get pushed too far. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, so they are going to mandate these masks. They're going to mandate that the cruise lines police these masks, or they will face penalties.
Some serious penalties, like criminal.
And those who do not, go along with the mask mandate couldn't have some criminal penalties on there. I doubt it would ever get that serious, but I guess you never know. I mean,
When you talk about getting kicked off a cruise, that's pretty serious.
Yeah. So that's where we are, and I mean, some of the stipulations were you can only take it off while eating or in your stateroom, I think, or swimming, right? Swimming.
Or taking medication.
Yeah, so it's very limited,
very brief,
and I'm sure that this will be, before we get back to sailing, this will be fine-tuned a little bit, per se. Because as we talked about before, some of the cruise lines that were in the Mediterranean that were already cruising this past summer, we did see that they were requiring masks in public areas. But then when you got to the theater, they were spacing people out enough where they could take their masks off. So I'm hopeful that we still get to that kind of activity. That would be nice.
Me too.
I think it's just going to be a little rough trying to do your sail away party doing the wobble with a mask on. You're going to have people just falling out from not being able to breathe.
And it's going to be hot in the places we go.
Well.
Or they saying take it off to eat briefly. Well, you want to enjoy your dinner.
Yeah.
That's why people cruise. All you can eat.
All right. So then the other piece of information that I had to share, and this is joining in with the Saba Cruise Lines, Saba, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. But starting July 1st, we have 2 river cruise companies. But this may affect some of what we were talking about over the weekend, where we're talking about go visit your backyard, go out and explore your backyard. Well, part of that is doing river cruising, and it kind of been in the back of our head to think about that, but. The American Queen Steamboat Company, who does they do a lot of Mississippi River cruises, and also the Victory Cruise Line, which actually does Great Lakes cruising with a stop in the port of Detroit.
Is that
Did
right?
you know that?
That's our hometown.
So those 2 cruise lines, starting July 1st, they are going to mandate vaccinations.
Here we go.
Again, much like the Saba cruise lines over in Europe that are also mandating vaccinations, this cruise line also says that their guests are usually 65 or older.
This may be a domino effect for cruises like this.
Yeah, for cruise lines that have more of a mature crowd.
Sure.
This may be a thing, and so that makes you wonder about like Holland.
Of course.
They obviously have a very mature audience.
They really do.
For their cruise line. So these cruise lines are requiring vaccinations, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I don't think, in my professional opinion, I don't think that this kind of vaccination mandate will make it to the major players, your Royal, Carnival, Norwegian. I don't think it's going to make its way there. It's just too much, and there's too many people that are not going to get it for various reasons. And that's a big chunk of their client base if they just narrow it down to people who have vaccinations.
It could.
It could. I mean, anything is possible. I mean, we're.
Did you see 2020? Anything is possible.
We are in uncharted waters. I mean, for many of us, we have never lived through anything like this ever before, not even remotely close. So obviously, this is very new, and we're learning things as we go along.
This is untreaded water.
But, as we said before, we have to learn how to live with this disease as opposed to hiding from it or running from it. We have to learn how to live with it and be responsible while it's here.
We just kind of have to adapt to the changes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we had for today. We just wanted to pop on and give you this. It's, it is very difficult for us to come on and continue to give these kind of downtrodden updates, but at least they're talking about it, right? So, they're talking about when we go on cruise, we're going to do this. When we go on cruise, so at least they're talking about it, guys. So it's a subject of conversation. I've got my plenty of opinions. You guys know that. They don't really mess with the airlines too much as far as domestically, because of course the government would have to end up bailing the airlines out. They don't have those problems with the cruise lines, so it's they have no qualms about pushing these very, very strict guidelines on the cruise line, who I think have done a fabulous job of presenting their plan to return to cruising safely.
Absolutely.
And amongst other things. So we really do appreciate the cruise lines getting it together for us and getting ready for us.
If you can, make sure you give us a thumbs up if you love these breaking news videos. We're trying to do everything we can to get the information out to you, whether you want to hear it or not, but it'll help you in the long run if you have something planned. Please give us a call at 877-697-4470, or we can be reached at www.thisguy, Mr.-Traveler.com, and you'll get me, or you'll get Cruise Talk, Mr. JT, who helps us out every now and then, and he works really, really hard. So thank you so much, Mr. Cruise Talk, and we appreciate each and every one of you today.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later on in the week.
Life's short.
Have fun, guys.
See the world.
One day closer
To cruising.
Come get me.
Bye, everyone.